Good evening, folks. Welcome back to Celtic Fans TV. It's time for reaction to Lyon 2, Celtic 1 in the latest pre-season friendly. It's another live post-match pint. I'm joined by Callum tonight. You know how this works by now. You can ask comments below, pick out the best ones and try and discuss them as we go through. Callum, first thoughts tonight. We know we can't read too much into these friendlies, but when I seen the teams coming out, Lyon at full strength and we went with the opposite of Thursday, where we played the reserves for the first 60 minutes. I thought it was looking ominous.
Definitely. I thought when I seen the lineups like yourself and you seen Dembele, Depay, I just thought, oh no, I thought at least come on Celtic, play a strong squad, because it could be quite hard on the younger boys, but I actually thought they'd done quite well. I thought, especially some of the younger boys, and it was a very inexperienced squad. They've not played many times together, so to only be 2-0 down at half time, I actually thought was not too bad. You seen a little good glimpses. I thought Soro played quite well. He's kind of like a Kanté type player where he just nibbles in. He seems to shorten up the defence. So I thought there was some good aspects of the younger boys. Karamoko Dembele, I thought the hour that he played, he done all right. Klimala, it was really good for Klimala as well. I think he's starting to become a little bit more of an important player within the squad. You can see that he can hold the ball up. That work that he's done since lockdown, he's definitely bulked up and he's definitely been able to take the ball in and obviously get the rest of the team up the pitch. So it was a scary start after the first 5 minutes. Moussa Dembele scores and I thought,
you knew it, didn't you? It was absolutely nailed on, guaranteed, man. Seen him do it so many times.
You just knew that he was going to do something, and that was the fear. Once it went 1-0, I thought, this is going to be rough for the first 45 minutes, but we kind of grown into the game, and I thought we'd done quite well.
As I say, it's all about getting minutes and legs in it in pre-season. You could see though in that first half, that first 15-20 minutes, man, Lyon were just quicker, stronger, more intelligent. It was their first team, as I say, playing against most. We did have some experienced players in there, like Beaton and Cham and stuff, but most of those guys are what you would consider reserve players. El Ahmed in as well. El Ahmed and Bain, I think other than that, you're on to guys that are not going to be in the first starting 11 when it comes to the first game of the season. I'm gutted Big Moussa didn't swap sides at half time. I thought that was the only way we could have evened it up.
It wouldn't be bad having him in the team still, because he's just went on to another level since we had him. We know how good a player he is. Even that bit in the second half where the ball comes up and he takes it on the chest and he just skips by the centre back and then takes a touch, and I think he megs near Beaton and just gets by, and then Sorrell just clatters him and takes him out, and it's free. It takes 3 players to take him down. He is a top player. And Lyon, at the squad that they've got, that's why they're in the Champions League against Juventus. They are a top class side. It wasn't the same team that they put out on Thursday. There was a full first strength team, and I think they've got the cup against PSG in 2 or 3 weeks in France, so they had to start playing some of their first team, so we knew it was going to happen probably, but I thought we'd done quite well first 45 minutes considering we had such a young and inexperienced team.
You touched on Sorrow there. That's the first time we've seen him start a game. He did have that rash challenge on Dembele when he got away for Big Beaton, but what did you make of him? I thought he had some really good forward passes, but again, he had some really poor passes as well. He looked a wee bit up and down. But do you think there's the raw attributes there for a good player?
Definitely. It's when you see him on the ball, I think he's quite good on the ball. And he's a tidy player. He doesn't make it too complicated. He doesn't run with the ball for too long. He just passes it on. But what I like about him is he breaks up play quite well, and I think you're starting to see that a little bit. He needs obviously more game time. He needs in the squad a little bit more since he was brought in for January. But he wasn't really given. He was given 6 months of a free hit just to try and get up to speed, catch up with everybody else. So now I think that you might start seeing him in the team a little bit more. I quite like him as a player. He's, as I say, he sits in just in front of the 2 centre backs and he just cleans up everything that's there. And I just say with the Dembele tackle, I think he knew that he was never getting that ball, but he just like came with you, and that's not too bad to have. And I know it's a friendly, but to have that, it shows that he's willing just to put in that tackle to stop that attack happening, even it's a friendly, because he could have just been like, oh, do you know what, I'm not going to chase back for the ball. It's a friendly, who matters? But he shows that he cares there, and he's at least trying to go for the ball. So I think he could play a good part this season.
Hopefully, man. We did have a Dembele in the park, young Karamoko, on the right-hand side. we were talking about him during the week there, after he came off the bench against Nice. How do you think he done the night? I thought he looked bright in spells. He had a lovely ball through for Klimala when we thought we had the penalty. It was never a penalty, by the way, but we ended up with the free kick. What do you think of Dembele's performance, and do you think, I asked it during the week, do you think we'll see him this season? Do you think we should see him this season?
It's a tough one because he's still quite obviously small in physique, and he's not really got that strength. I mean, he was coming up against, I think it's Cornet, the boy at left back. They were kind of playing like a 3-5-2, but Cornet was on that side, and he's a big boy against young Dembele. So I think it was difficult, but you did see the wee glimpses. I think if you play him more, he's going to just become better and better. He's just like a sponge. He's going to pick up and he's going to learn. So the more you throw him in, the better he will become quicker. If you don't, so it's a wee bit of a, it's a difficult one. I'd like to see him a little bit in, but I'd still like maybe to bring in another right winger to test Forest as well, and then some of the games that maybe Forest needs a rest and it's maybe a meaningless game or it's maybe against lesser opposition, then you can maybe put Dembele in and give him that chance in the SPL. But I thought he done quite well, especially against the first 11 at Lyon. He held his own. It was a really good pass into Klimala as well, as you say, for that penalty / free kick, which obviously wasn't a penalty, but I thought he done well.
Aye, Jay's asking there, if you're just joining us, by the way, get the questions in the comments. We'll pick some good ones out. Jay's asking, do you think Dembele's just a wee bit too lightweight to be in the first team just now? I think his age is starting to show, in Jay's opinion. Look, he is young, and there's no getting away for that. He's slight, but we've seen, I mean, Patrick Roberts wasn't he a big boy? But he succeeded, so I think it's just about getting the timing right. He's not played a lot of first team football given his age, but we're never going to find it. And if his contract is running down, if we're not going to renew it, we might end up losing him. But another starter we've seen tonight, Hatem El Ahmed, mate, he really impressed everybody last season, but he's just got these problems with injury. Kevin McCormack's asking, would you think Lennon choosing Frimpong over Hatem? That surprises me. Obviously, it looks like if you take the second 11 tonight as close to the first choice as possible now, then Frimpong looks to have the nod over El Ahmed. What do you think about Big Hatem? He's brilliant, isn't he? But he seems to be made of glass sometimes, man. I thought he was injured again tonight.
I think I said to you when we first signed him that we had, when we used to have Lustig and Tierney as our fullbacks, and then once we got Bolingoli and then we signed El Hamad, it was like switching. Tierney was our best fullback, and then all of a sudden a right back was becoming our best, and we had let Tierney go. El Hamad is a good player, but he is too injury prone. I think he's only made like 270 appearances in his career, and I think he's age 28. So that's no great numbers for the age that he's at. He should be way above that, which is poor. So it tells you that he's injury prone. And what else tells you tonight is Lennon's picked Frimpong in that more normal 11, because I think that's who he sees for this season, who's going to be able to be fitter, who's going to be able to pick from. El Hamad is a really good player, but he is just too injury prone. So I don't think Lennon's putting his full trust in him. And I think he's trying to get Frimpong up to speed and trying to get into the first 11. Frimpong's, as I say, he's young, but his speed is gets him out of a lot of trouble at times as well. And going forward as well, he's definitely an asset. So I think he probably will go with Frimpong for the start of the season anyway. He'll be the number one right back, and El Hamad will probably come in for the lesser games that we play.
I think so much development in Frimpong, man. The sky's the limit for him. You've seen last season what impact he had coming into the team. For one flank to the other, though, left back, come back to the game tonight. Lyon's second goal, Bolingoli, he's just ball watching, man. It's a big switch for Lyon, and he's got no idea. The boy on his left hand side, and that basically we're up against it as soon as he gets by him. It's a lovely finish by Depay at the end of it, the wee back heel, but it was really poor for Bolingoli getting caught out.
See, once we first signed Bolingoli, you can kind of tell with a player when you sign them. You can tell type of what player they are. He's quite quick, and when I seen Bolingoli, he's very rash. His awareness isn't the best. I think his speed also helps him sometimes get out of some trouble that he gets into. But as you say, his awareness isn't great. And you see with that goal, he never know. He never knew who to pick up, never knew where he stood, and you'll get caught at that level as well with Depay. He just flicks it in and rolls it in. It's too easy.
What do you think of the left back situation? Are you happy with Taylor? Do you think that's something we need to look at?
I think I would say we need another left back, because if Greg Taylor gets injured, and then obviously we're letting Johnny Hayes go to Aberdeen, you're dead short, and then you're relying on Bolingoli on all four fronts, especially with maybe the two Scottish Cups this year, with the two different competitions that we'll maybe need to play, plus then the League Cup, plus the league, and then if you're in Europe, you can't just go if Taylor was to get a 6-month injury and you've only got Bolingoli. So for me, I'd probably go and get another left back. I think that's where we need strength. I'd get somebody at the level of Taylor or above to push that position. I wouldn't bring in somebody young and try and get them. This is too much of an important season. We definitely need somebody that can push for that number one starting spot.
You've already touched on Klimala tonight, mate. I thought, again, he was bright in some spells, but sometimes it just didn't seem to be a pass at the end of it, or the pass was heavy at the end of it. But he held up well at times. He had that lovely chest control for, I think it was a Scott Bain goal kick, actually. Got us up the park, so he's developing all the time as well. Do you think, with the situation surrounding Lee Griffiths, that there's a chance for him to maybe move up in the pecking order?
I would probably say that he's probably our second striker right now, just with the Lee Griffiths situation. Because you look at Lee Griffiths, he's going to be now 2-3 weeks behind the rest of the squad and on his fitness. And we start the season in two and a bit weeks' time. So he's nowhere near going to get into the starting 11 or even on the bench for that game against Hamilton. So it's probably going to be Klimala that's going to be on the bench and Edward up top himself. So that would tell me that he's right now Klimala's second choice striker. I think with Klimala, I think you're starting to see him starting to settle in a little bit. It must have been hard for him. He never really spoke English, as he said in his interview. And now I think you're starting to see just a little bit of the benefit of what he can do. I'd like to maybe see, once you're playing SPL, the 3-5-2 and maybe go with Klimala and Edward, because sometimes when it's Edward and Griffiths, because Griffiths is the smaller one, Edward would need to usually come for the ball if it was going long, which means Griffiths would then be in behind. But I think if Klimala can hold that ball up and then turn and get it into Edward, two of them running at centre backs, it's going to be better for us. And I think he is. He's definitely bulked up since lockdown as well. So he's definitely looking a better player since we first brought him. We've not only really seen him against was it Clyde? We played him against. We only seen him that game, and that game was just there was like a tornado happening on the pitch, and it was just horrible. And you just couldn't judge somebody. So it's so unfair to judge a player like that. So for me, I think he's quite good, and I'd probably say he's the second choice right now.
I think that's probably something we need to look at as well. Bringing another striker in. Definitely, I think with Klimala no have improved himself. I think Bio's as good as gone into, like, it's nowhere to be seen. I don't know if he's injured as well. He doesn't seem to have a good record of injuries either. On that subject though, Mazhar Youssef is asking, with squad depth playing a huge part next season, it's imperative we focus on rebuilding centre backs and right backs. With El Ahmed, seems like he's only a push away for a 6-month injury. That's something we've already talked about, but Callum, I want to get your thoughts on the centre-back situation, because a lot of speculation around Christopher Ayer now. Beaton played tonight, but other than Julian, Ayer, Beaton, we've got young Stephen Welsh there as well, but we're a bit light in centre-half area, aren't we?
It's too big a season to only go in with that, especially with Beaton not even being an out-and-out centre-back. I know he plays there now, but he's still, you can see him, and I wouldn't have really fancied Beaton in a high-pressure game playing centre-back. So we definitely need cover. With the Ayer situation, I don't know if a bid comes in from AC Milan, and if it tests Celtic, we know that it doesn't really matter to the board. The board will sell him if it meets their valuation. It doesn't matter how big the season is that's coming up. When the money's right, the board take it. And especially with lockdown and the pandemic happening, that obviously the funds are going to be a little bit tighter. So when money does come our way, we're probably going to take it. So if a bid did come for Ayer, then we're really struggling. So I definitely think we need a centre-back and another right-back, definitely. Xel Hamad, as you say, he's too injury-prone, and then you can't go into a season just with young Frimpong either.
Aye, absolutely. Back to the game tonight, mate. I said earlier on, you could see the difference in quality in the first 15-20 minutes with the Lyon team. When we made the changes, but you could see that the difference with our first team on. Edward coming deep and linking the game as well. And we did manage to get a goal back, and it was a lovely goal by El Yunusi.
Definitely. When you seen all the players coming on, I think Lyon they knew that was Celtic's first team coming on. They took a step back, and then, as you say, that people like Callum McGregor, it just ticks the game over for Celtic, and we started creeping into the game a little bit more. Obviously, Lyon were getting a bit more tired, and obviously we had fresh legs. But the Elyounoussi goal is a really good goal. It's so typical of him. He always loves to come in the inside, cut across defenders, and either play something in or have a shot. And lucky for us, obviously it went in, and it's a really good finish for him. So for the tour in France, it's been good. We can't really moan at it. It was all about getting minutes into the legs. Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely, mate. It's not over yet. Just you wait to Tuesday, man. I think we should just cancel that. PSG have won 9-0 and 7-0.
That's going to be difficult. It's going to be difficult, but it's these games have been really good for the squad. It's going to get us up to match fitness quite quick. Two good teams that we've played. It wasn't really about the results. We rotated the squad on both games, so at least 20 to 25 players have had good minutes in their legs. Actually, the PSG game will take care of itself. We don't have much of the ball, to be fair, so we'll just need to start a running session. But it's good for the season coming up.
Aye, it's a good level to be testing yourself at as well, as you said. Like, see, I think of the past few pre-seasons, we've been to places like Austria, and the first couple of friendlies you play in Austria are against part-timers, man.
You're winning like 9-0.
Aye, so it's totally different. Step up this season. I know it's a unique season because the way the pandemic's impacted the schedule and stuff, so we've not really got that many friendlies, and we've started at a higher level than we would usually if we went a tour in a place like Austria. But on to Tuesday, we'll see what happens there. One thing I want to end on tonight is this something we've all been talking about. Michael McCaffrey's asking if Foster is not coming back, who would you like to see Celtic bring in to be the number one next season? Obviously, it doesn't look like Fraser Foster is coming back. It looks less and less likely. When I done the transfer show with Martin last week, he thought it might drag on, and it wouldn't surprise me if it dragged on, but I think we definitely, regardless of whether we're going to try and keep chipping away at a deal for Foster, we need to bring somebody in because we've only got Scott Bain as the only senior goalkeeper.
Definitely. I'd maybe throw one to you. I'd maybe look at Martinez from Arsenal, goalkeeper in goals right now for Arsenal. He's wanting away for the club. He's been at Arsenal over 10 years and he's always been back up, but the games that he's came in, he's actually looked really good for Arsenal. They've won 2-0 tonight against City. We have in goals, and since he's been in, since Leno's been out injured, he's been fantastic. So I don't know the situation that what were there. I don't know what's going to happen, but he could be one that I think Celtic could probably tempt to come up with the European football. He'd be number one. He's quite a tall keeper as well. I think he's maybe like 6'3", 6'4". I think that's what goes against Bain is his height. He's quite small, and he doesn't really fill out the goal as maybe Fraser Forster would. Fraser Forster gives you that confidence. He's a big guy. You need to put the ball in the top corner to beat him. Where Bain's quite timid, quite small, and that just goes against him. So I'd maybe go for maybe somebody like Martinez for Arsenal. I think it wouldn't cost a lot of money as well. I think he's on his last year of his contract at Arsenal as well, and he does want out. So maybe we could tempt him to come up.
Hopefully, mate. I think that'd be a coup for us. I seen that save. He made a save against Liverpool the other night in the 95th minute for a deflection. It was absolutely unreal. So by all accounts, he's pulling up trees for Arsenal now. Maybe he'll be in there shouting number one next season if they end up extending his contract. But that's definitely something we'll need to look at. That's all we've got time for tonight. Like the video, comment with your own thoughts below. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. We'll be back on Tuesday. Hopefully not doing the video for Behind a Couch after watching us play PSG. But we'll see how it goes. Hopefully we start with a full strength team there. And we'll see you for reaction for that one. Cheers.